Making headlines this hour. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz reiterates that the education and upbringing is key to strong, active children who love Islam and the nation. The new academic year commences following a month-long school break, marking the first time in several years that the academic year has commenced in January. And Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that India and the Maldives will continue to work together for the benefit of the people of both countries. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Abdullah Ahil. Now the news in detail. President Mohammad Muiz sends a message of condolences to the President of the Philippines, Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., following a tragic ferry capsize incident. The MV Trisha Kirsten III was sailing in good weather from the port city of Zamboanga to southern Jolo Island in Sulu Province with 332 passengers and 27 crew members. It sank about a nautical mile, nearly 2 kilometers from the island village of Balok-Baluk in Basilan Province. In his message, President Muiz expressed deep sorrow over the incident which claimed the lives of several people. The president conveyed his condolences to President Marcos Jr., the government and the people of the Philippines, as well as to the families of those who lost their lives in the tragedy. He also wished a speedy recovery to those injured in the incident and expressed hope for the successful search and rescue of those reported missing. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz reiterates that the education and upbringing is key to strong, active children who love Islam and the nation. The president made the remarks in a message shared on social media to mark the start of the new academic year, which began today. In his message, President Muiz extended his best wishes to education administrators, teachers, parents, and students, wishing them success as the new school year gets underway. He said that learning and teaching are not only educational duties, but also significant religious and national responsibilities. The president stressed that the country can achieve the bright future desired by its people only if all parties cooperate and act with sincerity in fulfilling this responsibility. The president concluded his message by praying for the continued strengthening and development of the education system and for the success of raising intelligent, well-mannered, and morally upright children within educational institutions. As the new academic year begins, more than 77,000 students have enrolled in 218 government schools across the country. A total of 10,500 teachers have been deployed in government schools to teach students this academic year. President Dr. Mohammad Muiz advises students to begin their day with the Fajr prayer, calling on parents to ensure their children are guided and shaped accordingly. The president made the remarks while addressing the opening ceremony of the newly inaugurated Shahid Ali School in Hulumale, Phase 2.
Speaking at the ceremony, President Muiz said the school is named in honor of the jihad of King Ali, who fought to protect the country's independence. He said the name reflects efforts to instill patriotism in the hearts of children and youth in line with the government's policy of shaping the nation's future. The president urged students to learn from the sacrifice and courage of King Ali and to instill patriotism in their hearts by always thinking about what they can do for their country. He said education is meant to develop the mind, stressing that national development requires the strengthening of thought and values alongside physical infrastructure. President Muiz said every child is a Muslim firmly rooted in the holy religion of Islam, adding that daily life should be lived in accordance with Islamic teachings. He urged all students to observe the 5 obligatory prayers, emphasizing the importance of praying on time and starting the day with the Fajr prayer. The president said parents have a responsibility to ensure their children uphold these practices. The president also highlighted that inclusive education is a key policy of the current administration. He said facilities to support inclusive education have been established at Shahid Ali School and efforts are underway to expand inclusive education to other parts of the country. He concluded by urging students to make full use of the opportunities provided by the government and called on all stakeholders to work together to strengthen the education system.
The new academic year commences following a month-long school break, marking the first time in several years that the academic year has commenced in January. The minister made the remarks during the inauguration of Shahid Ali School in Hulumale Phase 2. During the ceremony, the minister remarked that the government has worked tirelessly over the past 2 years to strengthen the education sector. He noted that schools across the nation are included in the government's development plan, irrespective of geographical location, signaling that both schools in the capital as well as outer islands will be developed. As such, the minister revealed that an additional school is being planned for development in Phase 2. The minister also emphasized the importance of self-learning and said students should be taught and developed in such a manner. To conclude, the minister highlighted that over 2,100 students are being taught at the newly inaugurated Shahid Ali School, and that 77% of the students are originally from other atolls. Minister of Education Dr. Ismail Shafiu reveals that the government has initiated work on the development of an additional school in Hulumale Phase 2. The minister made the remarks during the inauguration of Shahid Ali School in Hulumale Phase 2. During the ceremony, the minister remarked that the government has worked tirelessly over the past 2 years to strengthen the education sector. He noted that schools across the nation are included in the government's development plan, irrespective of geographical location, signaling that both schools in the capital as well as outer islands will be developed. As such, the minister revealed that an additional school is being planned for development in Phase 2. The minister also emphasized the importance of self-learning and said students should be taught and developed in such a manner. To conclude, the minister highlighted that over 2,100 students are being taught at the newly inaugurated Shahid Ali School, and that 77% of the students are originally from other atolls. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that India and the Maldives will continue to work together for the benefit of the people of both countries. The Prime Minister made the remarks in a social media post responding to a message shared by President Mohammad Muiz on the occasion of India's Republic Day. In his post, Prime Minister Modi said he respectfully accepted the congratulations and best wishes extended by President Muiz to mark India's 77th Republic Day. He added that the two countries will continue to cooperate closely in the interest of both nations and their people. Prime Minister Modi concluded his message by wishing the people of the Maldives continued happiness and well-being. India's Republic Day is celebrated annually on the 26th of January, marking the adoption and enforcement of the country's constitution in 1950. The day also commemorates the swearing-in of Dr. Rajendra Prasad as India's first president. The new United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, or UNODC, regional representative for South Asia, Christian Holge, formally presents his letter of appointment to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdullah Khalil. The ceremony, held at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, marks the beginning of Holge's tenure and underscores the continued importance of the partnership between the Maldives and the UN agency. Following the presentation, the two officials held a substantive meeting focused on shared security priorities. The minister specifically reflected on UNODC's critical role in assisting the nation to combat transnational organized crime, counter terrorism, and prevent violent extremism. extremism. Reiterating the Maldives government's firm commitment, Minister Khalil emphasized a desire to work closely with the UNODC to advance key initiatives, including preventative approaches, capacity building for national institutions, and the implementation of evidence-based policies aimed at fostering sustainable peace, security, and development. In response, Regional Representative Holge reaffirmed UNODC's strong partnership with the Maldives and expressed his office's full readiness to further support the country's national priorities. He outlined the scope of UNODC's ongoing and future programs designed to address these complex challenges. Holge also emphasized the indispensable value of regional cooperation, highlighting how collaborative efforts across South Asia are crucial for effectively tackling the shared interconnected threats of crime and extremism. The meeting concluded with a mutual understanding to deepen this strategic collaboration for the greater security and stability of the Maldives and the wider region. The Maldives Ports Limited, or MPL, begins a major upgrade and maintenance project for the rubber-tired gantry, or RTG, cranes used for container handling at the Male Commercial Port.
MPL said the comprehensive upgrade is aimed at ensuring the continued reliability and efficiency of the cranes, which have been in operation since 2007. After approximately 19 years of service, the company noted that the upgrade is essential to maintain performance and operational reliability. The project will be implemented in 2 phases. Under the first phase, MPL will modernize the control and drive systems of the RTG cranes. The second phase will involve power and engine replacements to further enhance performance and efficiency. According to MPL, the first phase of the upgrade is currently underway and is scheduled to be completed before the second phase begins in July this year. The company said delays in cargo clearance have previously been a concern raised by traders. MPL noted that upgrading the RTG cranes will help accelerate port operations, improve cargo handling efficiency, and ease difficulties faced in clearing goods. In addition to upgrading the cranes, MPL said it is working to further strengthen port services. As part of these efforts, changes have been made to port operations to allow new vessels to enter the port limit area on a 24-hour basis. MPL said the upgrade project reflects its commitment to improving operational efficiency and service delivery at Male Commercial Port.
Bank of Maldives, or BML, announces the successful completion of 5 staff-led community projects under BML Islamic's Community Impact Grant, with 2 additional initiatives still underway. The grant, introduced in 2025 to mark BML Islamic's 10th anniversary, empowers employees to collaborate with local organizations in executing meaningful projects focused on environmental sustainability and education. Among the completed initiatives is the establishment of an outdoor reading and study area at Sien Atoll School, featuring weather-resistant furniture and a shaded structure to foster a tranquil learning environment. Similarly, in Ta Atoll School now boasts a new boundary wall and a dedicated sand and water play area, creating a vibrant space for child development. To enhance comfort and accessibility, Gafdal Atoll School received newly installed benches, improving seating for students, staff, and visitors. In a bid to support medical education, Dharmavanta Hospital unveiled a student resource hub equipped with textbooks, digital learning tools, and laboratory equipment, including microscopes and 3D anatomy atlases. Additionally, Muradu School saw the construction of a secure walkway, ensuring safe passage for students and staff across the campus in all weather conditions. Taking a look at international business, South Korea scrambles to assure the U.S. it remained committed to implementing a trade deal after President Donald Trump said he would hike tariffs on autos and other imports from its ally, blaming a delay in enacting the pact agreed last year. At a meeting focused on the issue, ruling Democratic Party lawmaker Kim Yong-jin said the National Assembly was handling the measures through normal and proper procedures. The Democratic Party said 5 bills that would enact the U.S. investment are now pending committee review and urged the opposition to speed up the process. It did not give a timeline for the parliamentary vote. Speaking to reporters, a spokesperson from the People Power Party signaled it was open to moving forward but argued that formal parliamentary ratification may be needed. Trump said that South Korea's parliament was not living up to its side of the deal by swiftly enacting the agreement he reached with President Lee Jae-myung to make huge investments in U.S. business projects in return for tariff cuts. It was not immediately clear when the hike would take effect. Data from the auto industry group ACEA shows sales of fully electric cars surpasses those of petrol vehicles in the European Union for the first time in December, even as policymakers propose to loosen emissions regulations. Battery electric registrations, a proxy for sales, also overtook those of petrol cars in the broader European market, which includes Britain and Norway, as car sales in the continent logged a 6th month of year-on-year growth. Competition from Chinese brands such as BYD, Changan, and Geely is intensifying the race for the European market, even as domestic car makers like Volkswagen and BMW roll out new EV models. The EU unveiled a plan in December to abandon an effective 2035 ban on combustion engine cars, bowing to pressure from car makers as they fend off challenges from Chinese rivals, U.S. import tariffs, and difficulties in selling EVs profitably. Updates on world affairs. Hamas is seeking to incorporate its 10,000 police officers into a new U.S.-backed Palestinian administration for Gaza, sources say, a demand likely to be opposed by Israel as the group debates whether to surrender its arms. Hamas retains control of just under half of Gaza following an October ceasefire deal brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump. The agreement ties further Israeli troop withdrawals to Hamas, giving up its weapons. The 20-point plan to end the war, now in its second phase, calls for the governance of Gaza to be handed to the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, a Palestinian technocratic body with U.S. oversight that is meant to exclude Hamas. In a letter to staff seen by Reuters, Gaza's Hamas-run government urged its more than 40,000 civil servants and security personnel to cooperate with the NCAG, but assured them it was working to incorporate them into the new government. That would include the roughly 10,000-strong Hamas-run police force, 4 sources familiar with the matter said, a demand that has not been previously reported. Many of them have been patrolling Gaza as Hamas reasserts its grip in areas under its control. It was not immediately clear whether Israel, which has adamantly rejected any Hamas involvement in Gaza's future, would agree to the civil and security workers' inclusion in the NCAG. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office did not respond to a request for comment. Hamas's plans for its police force and workers point to wide gaps between Hamas and Israel, backed by the U.S., as Trump pushes ahead with his plans. Last week, Trump hosted a signing ceremony to establish his Board of Peace that will serve as a transitional administration to set the framework and coordinate funding for the redevelopment of Gaza. Hamas spokesperson Hazem Qasem told the group was prepared to hand over governance to the 15-member NCAG and its chair, Ali Shad, with immediate effect. Iran says that the movement of a U.S. warship would not diminish its determination or capability to defend itself following President Donald Trump's warning of an American armada heading toward the region. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ismail Baghei told reporters that Iran would respond decisively and comprehensively to any threat criticizing U.S. moves to label Iranian institutions as terrorist organizations, and said Iran considered reciprocal action to be its legitimate right. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Thursday, January 22nd, that the United States had an armada heading toward Iran, but hoped he would not have to use it, as he renewed warnings warnings to Tehran against killing protesters or restarting its nuclear program. A U.S. aircraft carrier and supporting warships have arrived in the Middle East, two U.S. officials told Reuters on Monday, expanding Trump's capabilities to defend U.S. forces or potentially take military action against Iran. The U.S. military has in the past surged forces into the Middle East at times of heightened tensions, moves that were often defensive. However, the U.S. military staged a major buildup last year ahead of its June strikes against Iran's nuclear program. Iran will treat any attack as an all-out war against us, a senior Iranian official said. Moving on to sports, FIFA reveals the official logo for the 2027 Women's World Cup at a gala event in Rio de Janeiro. The presentation also showcased the logos of the host cities, Belo Horizonte, Brasilia, Fortaleza, Porto Alegre, Recife, Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, and Sao Paulo as part of the tournament's wider visual identity. Brazil's great Marta, speaking in a recorded message, called the Women's World Cup the pinnacle of women's soccer and said the country was ready to embrace the tournament with pride, excitement, and great confidence. The 2027 Women's World Cup will be played in Brazil from June 24th to July 25th, 2027, with 32 national teams taking part. Concluding with more lighter news, a group of artists is shining a light on the impact of climate change, rising sea levels, and nuclear testing in the Marshall Islands after traveling to the remote Pacific nation as part of an expedition. The Comidmore Ijin, or Our Life is Here, exhibition at London's National Maritime Museum features paintings, sculptures, photos, and video installations exploring the nation's dark history and the threat facing its inhabitants. Led by Cape Farewell, a cultural art and climate project founded by artist David Buckland, a team of artists, writers, scientists, and filmmakers set sail to the Marshall Islands in 2023. They visited various atolls, including Bikini, where the U.S. carried out nuclear bomb tests from 1946 to 1958, such as Castle Bravo in 1954, the largest U.S. bomb ever detonated.
Standing on the edge of Bravo crater, the biggest bomb that, 1,000 times bigger than the bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. And the evil of that place. I mean, they'd built a Canberra for some reason and put 16, and this huge lump of concrete, and it was the only thing that survived that blast. I mean, it blown to smithereens. I'm sure the film is absolutely useless, but just the concept of and just standing there next to that lump of concrete, the edifice was dark. It was seriously dark.
On show at the exhibition, which opened in late November and runs until June, are works exploring the threat of rising floodwaters as well as photographs of Marshall Islanders, both by international and local artists. Home to around 40,000 people, the Marshall Islands is one of the country's most vulnerable to rising sea levels, which are projected to put 96% of the capital, Majuro, at risk of frequent flooding, according to a 2021 World Bank study. Last year was among the planet's 3 warmest on record, the World Meteorological Organization said earlier this month, as EU scientists also confirmed average temperatures have now exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius of global warming for the longest since records began. And that's all the news we have for today. We'll be back with any further updates. Until then, I'm Abdullah Ahil from PSM News.
ಕೊಮ್ಮೆ ದುವಹಕು ಅಗ್ಗಡಿ ತಿರಿಹುಗ PSM ನ್ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್
ಮದಹ ಕಿಯಾ ಹುಷಾಳಂದ ಸ್ಕೊದ್ದಿನಮ ಮಾಲ್ಡೀವ್ಸ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟುಂ ಹಿಂಗಾ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗ ಬ್ಯಾವರುಮ್ಗೆ ಫುಸತ್ ಮಿವನಿ ಹುಳುವಾಲಾಫ ಬ್ಯಾವರುಮ್ಗೆ ಮುರ್ಫ್ರಾಕಿ ನುವಾ ಹರ ಸತಾರ ಹರ ದೆಮೆದು ಬರ್ಕಾತೆ ರಂಬೋನ್ ಮಹಾ ಗುಳ್ವಾಗೆಂಗೆ ನಿಸ್ತೆ ಮದಹ ಕಿಯುಮಾ ಹುಷಳಾದಿನ್ ಮದ್ದಸ್ಕೊದ್ದೆ ಮಿ ಖಾಸ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಿಫಾರ್ ಕುರಿಯದ್ದಾನಿ ಬೊಡೆತಿ ಬದಲ್ತಕ್ಕಾಯಕು ಎಗತುಮಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗೆ ಬ್ಯಾವರಿಂಗೆ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸೆ ಮಿಫಾರ್ ಕುರಿಯದ್ದಾನೆ ಎಮ್ಮೆಮೈಗೆ ಮದಹ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗ ಬ್ಯಾವರುಮ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಉಂತಿಯಫಿನಿವ್ಡಾಣವ QR ಕೋಡ್ ಸ್ಕೇನ್ ಕುರವಾ ಅದ್ ಮಾಲ್ಡೀವ್ಸ್ ಮೀಡಿಯಾ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಗೆ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಪೇಜ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ಗ ಹಿಸಾಕೊಫವ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಮೆದುವರಿಕೊ ಬೆಸ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಕುರವೇನೆ ಇತರ ಮಾಲೂಮಾತ್ ಹೋದ್ದಮ ತಿನೆ ಸುಮೆ ತಿನೆ ಹತರೆ ಸುಮಕ ಗುಳುವ
ಏಕಿ ಕುಳಿವರ್ತ ದಸ್ಕುರಂ ಬೇಣುವಾಕುದೆನ್ನ ಕೋಚುಂಗೆ ಇರ್ಷಾದ್ ಏಕಿ ಕುಳಿವರ್ತಕುಗ ಕಾಮಯಾಬ್ ಹೋದುಮ ಕುಳುಂತೆರಿ ಕುರ ಮಸ್ಸೆಕ್ಕೆ ಪುನರುವೆರಿ ತಫಾತು ಕುಳುಂತೆರಿಗೆ ತಫಾತು ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ತಕುಗೆ ವಾಹಕತ ಏಕಿ ಕುಳಿವರ್ತಕು ಏಕಿ ದಂಡು ತಕು